Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. In this video, I am going to explain how medias in India biased against Muslims community. Content for this video I given in the description. You can go through and study. The media is a significant tool the Modi government uses easily for propagating and creating fear, since significant private and corporate funding supports the Indian news media, which has developed a cozy relationship with the BJP government. Nowadays, TV news channels regularly cherry pick random events and random people to interview to show a whole Muslim community in a bad light, which often leads to harmful stereotyping. In the past few years, India has witnessed an increase in the deliverance of hate speeches and propaganda by most mainstream news media channels, instilling an anti-Muslim prejudice in the minds of the masses. During the anti-Citizenship Amendment Act protests, what India witnessed was an intense effort by the mainstream media to portray the protesters, a significant number of whom were Muslims, as the enemy of the nation through continuous dehumanization and the authorization of the protesters, and by linking them with the banned organizations and enemy nations. Continuous efforts were made to malign the protesters as illiterates, ignorant, venal, shady, and so on. During the beginning of the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in our country, the Islamic preachers group of Tablighi Jamaat was used as a scapegoat for the spread of COVID, and it's mishandled by the government. The news media played a vital role in instilling the propaganda in the mind of the majority of Indians that members of the Jamaat and the Muslim community as a whole are responsible for the spread, establishing them as the enemy of the nation. Terms like Tuk Jihad were coined. What followed was a hate campaign against Muslims, which included their economic and social boycott. Media houses today think of themselves as profit centers. Hate drives TRPs, drives profit. Thus, anything that feeds the bottom line is acceptable, including allowing people spewing hate to speak unchecked on television. Arnab Goswami of Republic TV started his prime-time show on the Tablighi Jamaat by demanding the nation wake up to the realization that 50% of India coronavirus cases are because of the Tablighi Jamaat markas. There was, of course, no source or evidence cited for the 50% figure. Today, a large section of the media has pieced itself with the ruling power vertical and is doing all it can to enable and accelerate the democratic backslide and the communal targeting of Muslims that is an integral part of the process. The circulation of politically and communally charged fake news has become rampant in India in recent years, and the problem is expected to worsen with greater penetration of the internet and smartphones. Often, IT cells of the political parties and of politically affiliated groups have been found to be creating and spreading fake news and hate posts to denigrate their political opponents and to advance their political agenda. This has been the subject of many studies and credible media reports. The social media in India is being flooded with motivated and communally charged hate messaging. Indian news media is defamed, pressurized by government officials to avoid certain topics, including religious-based hate crimes. The politicians who delivered hate speeches and the media houses which ran Such hateful campaigns were not even tried in the court of law and enjoy impunity. Had accountability of media houses and other people involved been established in such a scenario, perhaps they would have been punished for the crime of genocide and inciting it. So the media must be free and fair, uninfluenced by corporate or state interest or political bias. Bible talks about biased media against Muslims and Christians in India. In Psalms chapter 41 verse 6, when someone comes to visit, he pretends to be friendly, he thinks of ways to defame me, and when he leaves, he slanders me into the street.